All right, guys, so how to get started in real estate as a beginner. Now, I know real estate can seem like a challenging thing to get into. I mean, people think it takes a lot of money to get into, or need a lot of experience to get started in real estate, or a long-term game where you can't get money until years upon years. All that's trash. None of that's true. You can have $0 out of your pocket, zero experience, and still get the ownership in real estate properties. So, 3 different steps on how to get started in real estate. So let's get into it. So the first way to get started in real estate is wholesaling. Wholesaling is something that I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to real estate investing, that's what they hear about is wholesaling. Wholesaling is the concept of getting a property at a lower price and selling it at a higher price to another buyer. And whatever is in between is called the assignment fee, is what you get paid in your profit. Typically what people do is they'll find a distressed property owner or a distressed property that needs renovations or whatever the case is. They'll get those at a lower price, a price low enough where it makes sense for that buyer to come in and buy that property, sell it to them, and they'll just get the profit in between. But what about the earnest money? Earnest money is basically the deposit of money that you put in to seal your contract in, make sure it's a valid contract. Now, some people say, I don't have $2,000, $3,000 worth of money to put down to seal this contract in. I didn't either. So what I did was I got a transactional lender, which is also called a gator lender. And I told them, I said, hey, I need $3,000 to lock this property into contract. If you give me $3,000 to lock this contract in, then I'll give you $6,000 on my assignment fee. So you'll get your $3,000 back, plus you'll get another $3,000. So that helped them out. Also helped me out because I didn't have to pay any money. I was gonna get an assignment fee of $15,000 anyways. So cutting them a check of $6,000, I mean, I didn't really care about that because it's all about collaboration over competition at that point. Like, he helped me get a deal done because he had money to put towards this. Now I'm walking away with $9,000. I'm still cool with that. And I had no money into the deal. When it comes to wholesaling, one of the most important keys is you need to understand how to comp a property. What I mean by comp a property, you need to make sure that it's within half a mile of the subject property. You need to make sure that it's sold in the last 3 months. Also, you need to compare properties in the same age range. What I mean by that is, don't compare a property that was built in 2022 and say, oh, this property is built in 1990, but it's right here in the same area, it's fully renovated. Well, duh, it's fully renovated, it's built last year. But make sure whenever you're analyzing properties, you keep it within a 10-year time span. So what I mean by that, if the house is built in 1970, only compare it to properties that are built in 1960 or in 1980. Anywhere between that time frame, you're good. You can use those as comps on whatever time period it is. You want to make sure the square footage is within the same range. I usually keep within 300 square footage of each other, maybe 250. So it could be 250 or less or 250 and above. Very important that you run your numbers, understand how to do a fully comp. So what I'll do is I'll actually make a video from A to Z, how to comp a property, getting the property, so running the numbers on Zillow, to like all the checkpoints that I went over, going every through one of those in detail. And I'll make sure I make a video of that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. So whenever that video does come out, you'll be the first one to know about it. So the second thing that I learned that it's a great strategy for 2023, and if you're just getting started to real estate investing, is house hacking. What house hacking is whenever I buy a property and I live in one unit and I rent out the other units. And what I'm doing is taking that rental income and using it to pay my mortgage. So either I'm gonna have no mortgage payments for that month, because they're bringing me in so much rental income, or I'm gonna have like maybe $500 to pay every single month. House hacking is a great way just to get started into real estate, especially understanding how rents work and how payments in your mortgage and the whole idea of how that works. It's a safer way to invest if you're able to do it, because first of all, it's your primary home. So if you're gonna buy a home anyways, and you want to rent out one side just to lower your monthly balance, all the power to you. Right now, I think it's starting to pick up speed a lot more because the rates rose. So people still need a place to live. So this is one of the alternatives to a higher interest rate. If you just get a tenant in there, to say you have like a home that's, you have to pay $2,000 on mortgage for it. Nowadays, that's not unlikely. Now, if you bring a renter in there, they're paying you $1,500. Now you got just $100 left on your mortgage. The third thing, which I really love, which I think is underrated, but right now, since the market's doing this whole little hoopla stuff, it's a great strategy to get started. This strategy called arbitrage is that exact thing. It's an easier way, so you don't actually have to own the property. You don't have to go to the banks. You don't have to get a loan. You don't have to show your credentials. And you have bad credit, that's okay. You don't have to pay that big down deposit to buy a home. And especially with the way rates are right now, the payments are going to be really high for you even to cash flow from a property if you just want to make it a short-term rental, a mid-term rental, a long-term rental, whatever the case is. So with that being said, arbitrage is the fact of me going to a landlord or me going to a seller saying, hey, look, I see that you're trying to sell your property or you're trying to rent your property. Do you mind renting to me? I own a business where I house traveling professionals, traveling nurses, construction workers. It can be military families, depending on what market you're in. Whatever kind of buyer or tenant you plan on putting in that family. It can be numerous things. It can be sober living. It can be house for battered women. It could be a lot of things. Do your research in the market that you're doing it in, and figure out what's the best tenant for your property to bring in the most revenue. I let them know that I'm running a business. I'll be the best tenant that you can be. You should actually want me to be your tenant, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure your property's cleaned up. I'm gonna make sure that I have a $500 covering fee. So if anything breaks, damages, or anything like that, up to $500, I'll take care of that. I'll take care of managing tenants. I have bank statements for you every single month. You don't have to worry about missing a payment. I have multiple properties that bring in revenue. If something were to happen and I wasn't able to cover the rent, I have plenty of properties that have cash flowing assets that can make sure you get paid. I'd be the perfect tenant for you. So these are all the things I say to landlords or to sellers that are on the fence about leasing out the property. You can list these things on Airbnb, VRBO, Furnish Finder, ALE Solutions, which is an investment company or an insurance company that houses people that say they went through floods, fires, hurricanes, whatever the situation is, where they actually have to leave their house so the insurance can take care of them. The whole ALE Solutions actually works with them, and you'll list their house on their website, and they'll rent it out for 3 months at a time, maybe 2 months at a time, and they'll pay higher premium prices for it. But the thing is, you're locked in at a rental payment to this landlord. You're paying the rent like they wanted to, but yet you're renting at a higher amount. So say that your rent is $1,500, right? But you're renting out to these tenants, whoever your tenant is, for $3,000. That's a $1,500 profit in between. And all you gotta do is take care of the furnishings. If you're furnishing it, the first and last month rent usually to get into the property, but that's usually it. So those are the 3 tips I have to get started into real estate. If you have any more comments or information you need to drop in here, please let me know how I can better serve you guys. What kind of videos are you guys looking for? I'm making videos weekly, so keep them coming, and I appreciate you guys' time. Peace.